Hello, friends. I am here to discuss how we can crowdsource the praise data to get good hand labels for any experts who are willing and able, or for any volunteers who would like to be trained by an expert. So here's my Pandas, my Jupyter notebook that uses Pandas just to process the data set and then to look and say what the sheet should look like. So there was a previous meeting where the data was labeled, and there were 500 observations that were labeled, and they were given category codes, and people marked if they had any questions. I am thinking that when we look at tagging the data, we probably don't need all of this information. So my proposal would be that we reduce the data we're using in the annotation process down to just the reason for dishing and the source, which would be the room where the praise was dished from. Those two things seem to be the most relevant to me personally. So I've written a function here that takes the data and splits it up into workbooks of 125. So all of the data that we had in the original data frame that we created several weeks ago is now in this data, and it's split up into length 125 workbooks. And there, now you can see this is what a new workbook will look like. So I've put this as a Google Sheet now, and I hand added on a list of praise tags that were created in the previous call, and a place where we can record who tagged the new data that we're tagging, just for purposes of transparency. And so the way I envision this working is I will go and I will look for something I feel like I can tag. And I look and I say, okay, the reason for dishing was their influence in making my experience in the TEC something unforgettable. And I do want to probably go through and make sure I'm seeing the whole thing, because motivating and enlightening, just make sure I see everything because it could be important. Much gratitude, admiration. Yeah, this column is probably going to need to be pretty long, but I'll let you adjust the columns as you need to. But to me, this feels like personal praise. So I go to praise tags and I see that there is a category for personal praise. Actually, there are two categories for personal praise. And so I'm wondering if it's possible we can merge. I realize that the TE and the TEC may be different things, but if we're only interested right now in categorizing these into buckets, it might be good to treat these as the same bucket. And we probably have enough information that we can separate these again later if we really needed to, based on other things in the data frame. But for right now, I'm going to assume that I want to keep going. I have to make a judgment call. So I'm just going to say that it's TE8. And since I'm not 100% sure, I am going to mark a question. The question is, could be TEC 12. I'm not sure the difference. And then I look down and I say, okay, the next one I'm going to look at is participating in the praise giving call. And that I would view as participation. And so I'm going to go back and I see that, I'm sorry, the one that I did just a second ago, I was confused whether it was TE8 or TEC 16. So let me be careful with that. For participating in the praise giving call, that sounds like participation to me. And again, I have this issue that the things I have to choose from seem very similar, and I personally am not enough of an expert to distinguish these. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick TEC 12. And in real life, I would probably want to post or get someone I trusted to tell me the difference, or or if we merge, this issue goes away. This is why it might be good to do this in pairs, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep doing this for the sake of example to see what it looks like if you do have questions about a category. And now when hopefully you can do this for a while, but I'm going to stop so we talk about making sure that you claim your tags. So in this document, I was working in the sample one from the new sample one from the data, and I was working in rows 4 and 5. So I want to make sure people know that these are mine for transparency reasons. And so I would go and I would say sample number 1, row start 4, row end 5, tagged by Octopus. And this is just so we know who did what, and whether or not. So we're going to have to probably have faith that no one actively interferes with this process, no one makes major mistakes. If that does occur, then we probably just have to give up. It's not, I'm open to other ideas, but we basically just need this to work pretty straightforwardly. Now, I actually don't think that I personally have enough subject matter domain expertise in this part to accurately categorize things. So I'm going to undo and delete mine and delete my tagged by, but I just did that to show you what I think we should do in terms of record keeping about how the work was labeled and by whom. So I hope that the community will engage with this. And many people said they wanted answers to these questions. And now here is a chance to actively engage in helping produce those answers. So this is the process I would envision. If you have any questions or thoughts, please suggest them. But I'm going to go ahead and post this video. And if we need to edit it or recut it, that's fine. But I want to start the discussion because we have a short period of time to really do this well. Thank you and have a good day.